Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Stacy. I have unfiltered makeup opinions, honest reviews, and those OG old school YouTube tutorials. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And today we're talking about 5 things that are ruining your makeup. We're gonna get into this right now. 1, you're using the wrong undertones in your makeup. Okay, what are undertones? What does that mean in general? It's always important to know whether you are a warm tone, if you are a cool tone, if you're olive toned, and if you use the wrong undertones in your makeup, it can just drastically ruin your makeup. For example, I am a cool tone, which means that I have pink in my skin. It makes me a cool tone. When you look at my wrist, my veins are actually blue, and that also tells me that I am more of a cool tone. I look better in cool tones like blacks and blues. I don't really look good in warm tone stuff. It makes me look sick. It makes me look sour. To know your skin tone, there are some general rules that you can follow to figure out what your skin tone is. But let's say I were to use a foundation that was yellow in nature on my very, very cool toned skin. I would look sick. I would look sickly, sourly. It just would not look good on me. And it would essentially just make me, I wouldn't look good at all. It would ruin my makeup. There is an old wives' tale that says if your veins appear blue on your wrist, for example, because you do have a really thin skin here and you can actually see the veins on your wrist. If your veins appear blue, you are a cool tone. If your veins appear green, you are a warm tone. And that can give you a really good idea of what kind of undertones you need to be looking for in your makeup. The same goes for blushes and bronzers. Usually I look better in a cool tone bronzer, so something that doesn't have reds and oranges in it, something that's a little bit more cool tone. If it has too much of a warm tone in it, it looks dirty on my face. It doesn't blend well. It doesn't look well on my skin. And if something is too warm toned, it tends to make me look sickly and it tends to ruin my makeup. So I'm actually working on a video all about how to shade match yourself when it comes to foundations and how I tend to shade match myself and like the tips and tricks I have for like literally nailing your shade matching. I will be posting that video, so make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you can see when that goes live. Number 2, the second thing that is destroying your makeup look is dirty brushes and sponges. Imagine you're going to do your makeup and the day before you used a pink eyeshadow and today you want to use a green eyeshadow, and if you use that same makeup brush and it still has the pink pigment on it, it's just going to be a muddy mess all over your eyes. So when you use brushes that are dirty, that have a, built up product on it, it can really just not be good for your makeup. You want clean brushes every single time that you apply your makeup. One tip that I do have, because I know it is hard to, wash your brushes every day. Every single time that you do your makeup. I do my makeup every single day. If you're the type of person who does their makeup every single day, whether you're getting ready for work, you're getting ready for your day, it is hard to wash your brushes every single day. I do suggest that you wash your stuff like once a week, especially your foundation brushes, your blush brushes, your, those types of things that go on your face. And you also rotate through your eye brushes. Make sure that you're cleaning your eye brushes at least once a week as well. In between cleanings, I like to recommend this little guy right here. This is the Sigma Switch. It comes in a full size, and I have a travel size of the Sigma Switch, so you can have 2, one for travel, one for, at your vanity. But this is specifically designed for when you are wanting to switch shadows, but you can also temporarily clean your brush free of dyes, free of pigments. So here's a good example. I like to use the Cinema Secrets. I put it on a spray bottle. Cinema Secrets it's actually a technique I learned when I was going into makeup artistry. You actually can use a Sigma switch like this. You can spray it with Cinema Secrets because it does actually have alcohol in it, which is going to kill bacteria on your brush. You spray it onto the brush, you use the Sigma switch, and the brush comes out clean or near clean so that you can use it the next time. This is also good for when you're wanting to switch shadows in between like when you're doing an eyeshadow look and you want to switch shadows but also use the same brush. You can use it for that as well. So I use Cinema Secrets in a spray bottle. I spray the brush, use the Sigma switch, and then I clean off the brush, and it also sanitizes the brush as well. And it helps keep the pigment from building up on the brush as well, and it keeps them cleaner. Number 3, you are using old or expired makeup. I have actually, a long time ago over on my Facebook page, which is linked in the description box down below if you guys want to go check it out, I did do like a whole masterclass on when you should replace your cosmetics. And if you would like to see a full-length YouTube video on that, leave me a comment down below and hit the like button. If you're using old or expired makeup, this is drastically going to affect the way that it applies to your face, but it's also going to like cause breakouts and blemishes, and it could essentially do damage to your face too. So a prime example of that would be like if your eyeshadows are old, and powders tend to not expire as quickly as liquid product. That's a good thing to keep in mind. But if you're using a powder product and it has reached its expiration date, it's not going to apply as seamlessly as it was before, and it could irritate the skin, especially with eyeshadow. If you find that you're getting eye irritations on the skin, really think about how long ago you purchased that eyeshadow palette, and it might be time to replace it. The same goes for blushes and bronzers and highlights. If it is a really old powder formula, it could have gone bad as well. As far as liquids go, usually you can tell by the smell. It starts smelling like sour, like a dirty, like a Crayola crayon. That's pretty much what it smells like, or it just smells like sour, like it's turned, like the ingredients have gone bad. Another prime example is that all of a sudden the ingredients will start separating on you. If you can see here, this foundation I've had for about a year, and it started separating on me, and I'm like, I can't use this anymore, so it goes in the bin. So if a product is really old, if it is expired, it is not going to do well for your makeup, and your makeup is not going to look as good. So having product that is newer, replenishing whatever product you have once it expires is a good idea. You're supposed to replace your mascara every 3 months. Don't make it last 6. 3 months is like the max that you are supposed to have your mascara last for, because it is close to the eye. It has a lot of bacteria in it, so that's to keep in mind. But I do have a whole document about like expiration dates and when you should typically go through your products and, get rid of them, and when they typically expire. If you guys want to see a video like that, definitely leave me a comment down below. Point number 4. You are speeding through your makeup and not taking the time. This I have actually been very guilty of. I have 5 minutes I want to put on my face. I speed through it, and then I go and I look in the mirror when I'm driving in the car, and I notice that like I have a splotch of foundation, or I didn't blend out something, or I have a streak of highlight on my face and I didn't blend it out. And I do, for my specific routine, I do have like a 5-minute foundation routine where I just throw on something really quick and I just conceal, throw on some mascara, and I'm done. And I have like a designated routine for when I'm needing to get out the door. And then I also have those routines where I take my time, I do my makeup, I make sure it's all blended out. If you are speeding through applying your makeup, this could be essentially ruining how your makeup looks on your face because you're not taking the time to blend out the product. And it could be streaky, it could be patchy, it could be just like very uneven application. And the last thing that is ruining or potentially could be ruining your makeup, you are going in too heavy. And that might sound kind of like taking your time. Sometimes you can go in too heavy, sometimes you can, like, it can happen. If you approach your makeup application with a very heavy hand, it can actually hinder the makeup application process. What I really like to do is, like, a rule of thumb is I generously build up the product on my face. I go in with a light layer and I continually build until I get the pigmentation that I want. Now, some products do have more pigmentation than others, don't get me wrong. Like, a great example would be the Singe Beauty Silk Evocative Blushes. Those have such a high pigmentation in them that I just tap into a little bit and I get a lot of the product on my brush. I tap it off and then I put it on my face. So one of the makeup techniques that you can incorporate into applying your makeup, whether you have, a really good, you have a dedicated time to be able to do your makeup, or even if you're just doing a quick 5-minute makeup routine, always make sure that you're going in with a lighter hand and you're not really going in with a very heavy hand when it comes to your makeup. So I like to tap into any kind of product like you see here. Look at all the pigment on here, and then I tap it off and I build it up on the face. The same goes for foundations, the same goes for concealers. I usually like to do one pump on the entirety of my face, and then if I find that the coverage isn't as good as what I thought it was going to be, then I will add in a second layer. And sometimes, you know, if I want more coverage, I can build up from there. Like I definitely build up around my under eyes because I tend to have a lot of mom bags because I am a mom of two. But going in with a heavy hand with your makeup, it could create streaking across the face. It can create uneven application, and it makes it harder for you to be able to blend out the product. And that's specifically true of super pigmented eyeshadow formulations. If you go in with a super heavy hand, it is harder to get the pigment to just disperse across your face evenly, and it gets patchy, and it just doesn't work very well. So these are the top 5 things that are ruining your makeup. If you guys do want to see those videos about foundation matching, if you want to see a video about expiration dates and when you should replace your cosmetics, definitely hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I get to see you in my next one. Bye!